today on NYSE Floor Talk is Nitin Kumar. He is co-founder at zbyte. Nitin, it's wonderful to have you here. Thanks for joining me on Floor Talk today.
Thank you very much for having me here, Judy. It's a pleasure.
So, Nitin, tell me about zbyte and the problem it solves.
So zbyte is the world's first decentralized platform. And in the blockchain world, when we were looking at why this beautiful technology and disruptive force is not being adopted, we saw four problems. Number one was that your identity in the Web 2 traditional world is your email ID, your Active Directory, or your login. You can extend that later on to socials and Gmail and all that. But if you want to log in and interact with Web 3, you need to open a wallet, you need to remember a 17-word key phrase. That's too much friction. So we eliminated that. We brought that together and say, okay, you can interact seamlessly between both. Second problem was the programming languages are very complex. You have Rust, Solidity, Haskell, Michelangelo. The traditional Web 2 developer is really not able to adapt to that. So we said, let's go low code, no code. And so just drag, drop, everybody can build seamless apps. The third thing is we saw that blockchain protocols, take any layer one, right? Ethereum, Solana, Cardano. These are all raw protocols. And if you go to an enterprise with them, it's very challenging. It's like, hey, Judy, here's TCP IP, go build Web 3. Judy's like, what are you talking about, right? So we built a lot of integrations into traditional Web 2 worlds, like your ERPs, your CRMs, and all that. So that was problem 3. The problem 4 is more interesting because if you need to pay these protocols, you need to pay them with crypto. The average CFO in a large enterprise is not comfortable having crypto on their balance sheet, at least not yet. That may change, but today we have to give them the option to pay using fiat and traditional methods. Lastly, when we looked at the market, according to Electric Capital's report, there's only 23,000 Web3 developers today. But the dApp market is projected to be 65 or 66 billion by 2027. Where are all these developers going to come from? They all have to come in from Web 2, use their comfortable methods, and build on Web 3. We are not of the opinion that Web 3 will rip and replace Web 2 tomorrow morning. They have to work together. If you have a Web 2 car, you can put a Web 3 engine, and that's how the dPlat came into being.
And who uses the decentralized platform today?
So the decentralized platform has really got 3 constituents in the ecosystem. One is developers. Developer scarcity is what we solve for in Web 3. So Web 2 developers come, they build their dApps, and they can actually monetize their skills and creativity without actually retooling themselves. So that's the first constituent. The second is there are companies that are built on it. Think about dPlat as Linux in the old world, and then there are many Red Hat sort of companies built on it. So there's Zblocks built on it, there is Genovatics built on it, and there is a company called F-Word using fashion technology built on it. So that's the second set of people. The third are traditional layer 1 protocols who can accrue cash flow to them using us. Today we support the big ones like Avalanche, Polygon, and we're having the new kids on the block like PowerChain who are actually sharing the same vision. Make it simple, make it cost effective, and move on.
Now, Nitin, does it have a token, and what does the token do?
Yes, it does have a token because that's the sovereign currency of the decentralized platform. It's a pure utility token which developers need to pay the fee to the decentralized platform. In the absence of that, they would have to procure Avalanche, Solana, whichever L1 and put it into the wallet. It's too complicated. So this is one seamless way that the developers can pay the fee as well as interact with the old world that they're familiar with.
What is the enterprise outlook for Web 3? What are the key risks and opportunities?
So the enterprise outlook, as I mentioned before, all those problems exist. Today, the biggest issue is blockchain is not simple. It's very complicated. So we call ourselves the easy button. The second biggest adoption vector is the lack of knowledge to sort of separate crypto and blockchain. And I think the world has got contaminated with that messaging. The challenge that the enterprise have is that the use cases have not been well defined. Yes, there is DeFi, yes, there's gaming, yes, there's MarTech, but these are all broad buckets. That's great. But each enterprise needs to figure out what exactly do they need to do here, and why is that better than Web 2? Okay, the enterprise really needs to have a business case that it's happening in Web 2. What problem are you solving? Is there a better way to do it, or is that a new paradigm itself? If you look at NFTs, if you look at illiquid assets, there's new markets opening up. But then there are some use cases that fall into, I'll make your existing stuff efficient, automated, simpler, cheaper. So that education is a constant ongoing journey. Many enterprises have got on the bandwagon, mostly in the financial services and also in the consumer goods market. The rest is a little bit fragmented, but that is all going to change in due course of time.
What does the zbyte platform look like today, and what are your plans to grow it?
So the zbyte platform is going mainnet on 15th. That means it's free, open for developers to come and build on. It's already launched formally with 2 layer 1 protocols. We're going to launch PowerChain very soon, and there's been more companies going to be built on it. Our ecosystem is interesting because at the launch itself, we have so much of activity on the protocol itself. Now, if you really look about how software works, in the old world, it's about 2 things: scarcity, that I give you something that you don't have, or commoditization, I just democratize it. In Web3, the challenge is there's a third thing that comes in called speculation. So when you blend the 3, we have to make sure that the speculation doesn't overwhelm the utility. So that is going to be one of our biggest challenges, which is why these ecosystem players actually put utility on the protocol and kind of flip the equation.
All right, and finally, Nathan, tell me, what's your outlook for the crypto market in 2024?
So the crypto market is playing out in a number of different ways. You guys obviously are excited about the Bitcoin ETF and you're following that. I think there's institutional adoption. That takes its own life. I think the number of real world use cases are going to get prevalent, which is tokenization of everything. That's happening. On the infrastructure and fundamental side, the enterprise adoption is going to be a big play here. Protocols have shifted from, oh, we don't want yet another layer 1 protocol or layer 2 with new kids on the block who've changed the innovation at the fundamental level. Now, if you want to draw an analogy to the old world, where does innovation happen at the infrastructure level? Cloud, mobile, what changes it? Developers, ecosystems, and all that. That's what we're in for in 2024.
All right, well, Nitin, it's been wonderful to talk with you. Thanks for joining me on Floor Talk today.
Likewise, Judy, pleasure's mine. Thanks a lot.